third and final part of Resco user interface tutorial. In the previous parts we talked about branding and forms. What's left are views. We'll go through several types of views by adjusting view properties. Then we'll go through edit search tool, images on views, and finally buttons and multi-select. So what is view and what is its purpose? Well, the view, as you can see, is basically a listing of all the records which belongs to a particular entity. As in this case, it's an account entity. We see all the records in the view, and then through view we can access the form where we can directly edit record fields for particular record which we selected in the view. So as I said previously, we'll go through different types of view layout. The first one is a grid. As you can see, the grid serves as a, let's say, a gallery. You can see multiple records with images being assigned to them. Automatic responsive layout is a layout which will automatically adjust to the size of your screen. So for example, here in AutoGrid, we'll set the border to, let's say, 500 pixels, and if the size of our screen exceeds 500 pixels, it will be adjusted to this one. And automatic is because the layout will be automatically adjusted. The next one is custom responsive. It's very similar. The only difference is that you will set up the new layout which will be shown in the wider variant of the screen. Next one is auto header. Auto header serves as a sorting in the view. Then we have multiple rows. As you can see in the preview, we have multiple rows with different colors, and we can assign them to certain records based on a row script. We'll not go in a depth with the row script as it's not part of this tutorial. It's only as a demonstration how can multiple rows be used. And then a tree view. Tree view is a special view which can be shown on a home screen and is set differently. We'll start with grid layout. So let's head to the Woodford and open up your project. Choose an entity with which you want to work. I will choose account and show UI. Here, let's create a new view. We'll name it grid, and you can choose a template here. We'll go for primary and 2 secondary cells. As you can see, 1 primary, 2 secondary cells. To assign field to a cell, we will choose from here, but as we do not have the fields we want to use, we have to select fields from here. We'll go for city and country. Okay. To assign field to a cell, click on the empty cell and double click the field or double click the country. You can also drag the field and put it in the row. Now, as we have our cells filled, let's adjust the row. We want to have a small square, so let's go for 110 width and 110 height. For the cell, as you can see, it goes out of our row. We have to edit this. Let's change the width to 90. For the city, let's change it to 45, or we can also go for 90. And we'll do the same for country. And 10 pixels from the left side, so it will be in the middle. Okay. Then we can also change the style, as now the country is aligned to the right side. We can change the style here. As you can see, we have air gray. The air means right, so we can choose simply gray. We'll add image in the chapter images on views. Let's leave it like this for now and set the columns to 3. Let's save, publish, and let's go to the application to look at the result. Open up account. As you can see now, we still have the default view, but you can change the view here. I'll choose grid, and now we have the grid view, and it's shown in 3 columns as we set it. Now let's go to automatic responsive. Again, create a new view, 1 primary to secondary cells. And click OK. Again, we have to choose the fields. So, city, country. Let's assign them city and add another one by dragging. Let's click on the city, and now the new cell which we'll drag here will be copying the style from the cell. Okay. Let's set the auto grid, the border for automatic responsive, to 500. Let's open an account. Let's go to automatic responsive. As you can see now, we have the wider layout, and as we make our screen smaller, we see it's automatically adjusted to the default one. Now for the custom responsive, let's create a new one. Let's name it custom responsive. And again, choose 1 primary to secondary cells. Select fields, city and country, and click OK. Now what we want to do is to clone the row. Now here, when we click here, we can see all the rows we have in this view, and let's choose default copy and set them and rename it to white. We also have to change the width to 500, for example, and go back to the default one. And now we have to change the next white will be the white, so it's linked together. If it exceeds 500, this row will be automatically used. Now we can also add some fields, as we have now some excessive space. Let's change the style of the city to primary. And let's move the cell here. Let's put our country here. And we can add some more fields. So, for example, street one. Let's select the country cell, so we will have the same style. And let's put it here. Save and close, publish, and let's head to the application. Select the custom responsive one. And as you can see, now we are using the wide row, and if we make it smaller, we are using the default row. So in the custom responsive, you can define which fields you want to use in the wider row. Next, we have multiple rows layout. We can also do this in a default view. So let's open it up. Now, what you want to do is to clone row twice. And now, as you can see, we have two copies. Let's name the first one to primary and second copy to secondary. And the default to off, out of scope. Okay. And what you want to do is to change the colors of the row so we can differentiate them. So we'll choose out of scope red color. For primary, we'll choose green color. And for the secondary, the orange color. Okay. Now, what do we want to do? We want to go to the row script, and here we prepared a simple script. To explain it, we are primarily looking for accounts located in Boston. So as you can see here, we have if city equals Boston, then assign a primary row. If the city equals Middlesex County, which still might be in consideration even to, let's say it's too far, we assigned secondary. And then if the city is not Middlesex County nor Boston, it's out of scope row. Let's save it. Save and close and publish. And synchronize. Open up accounts, and as you can see, all the accounts which are located in Boston are green. The accounts which are in Middlesex County are orange, and the rest is red. The last layout which we'll go through is tree view. So we can access this through components and a tree. And let's create a new one. Let's name it accounts with contacts. Click OK. Now we will choose the primary entity, which for us is account. Now we can choose which view you want to use. We want to use grid, so we will choose grid. And as we want to use contacts, which is child level, choose it. Now for contact, you also have to choose which view you want to use. Okay. Now we also have to add the tree view to the home screen. So let's click here and drop. Click save and publish. Now let's head back to the application, synchronize. And as you can see, we have accounts with contacts, and when we click, we see the grid view. And if we expand it, we also see the contacts related to this account. This was everything for view layouts. Now we can look at edit search. In the view, we can use search field, which is here in the top panel. We can click here and type a characters. By default, the lookup is set on a name. So let's say we are looking for Harry. Let's type Harry, and we got him. But we can change the basic settings of search bar by entering a view, and in the top menu, click Edit Search. Here we can define in which fields will the application look up the characters you entered in the search bar. You can also specify where in the field will the application look up the characters. So it begins with, ends with, equals, contains. So we can change this a little bit, so we'll try something else. Let's try begins with mobile phone and click OK. Now we'll try to look up Harry by using his phone number instead of his name. Enter contacts and it's 7785. And we got him. We can even create more complex search bar by adding another condition by clicking here, add. Now we have multiple conditions with our relationship in between them. Let's try it. Begins with an email. Click OK. Save and close. Now it should be possible to look up Harry by using his phone number and also his email at the same time. So synchronize. So enter contacts and let's again try to type a number 7785 and we got him. And let's try an email. And we got him. So this is how search field works and also how you can edit it. Now let's go to the next chapter, which is images on views. We will start with images on a default view. So let's go back to the account entity and enter a default view. Let's make a space here in the beginning of the row. And then we can add an image by clicking here. Choose style of the image. For now, let's choose list node image and arrange the image in the row. Now let's go to the edit styles and open up list node style. So what is important is that we do not have any images saved in the list. But as you remember, in the previous part, we uploaded some pictures on a form. We can use those images and change list image to form image. But before we do that, it's advised to create a new style. We can do that by clicking add. What this will do is that it will copy everything from its parent style, which is in this case list node image. And the reason why we do not want to change default style is that if anything else in the application is using this style, it will also be changed. But we can check this in the dependencies. Right now, list node image style is not used anywhere else, but anyway, let's create a new one. New style, let's name it form image. Let's change annotation from list image to form image. Anything else is correct. Let's center the picture. Let's click cover. Now don't forget to change the style also here. Form image. And now let's look at our images. So right now we can see all the records which have a related picture. Those are the images where we uploaded the picture on form. But let's say we don't want to have empty space. Go back to the default view, go to the edit styles. Let's open up our form image, click image query, and we can insert placeholder image. How to do this? Well, we have to have the image which we want to use already uploaded in our images. So if you remember, in the first tutorial we uploaded contacts icon and we will use that. The contacts icon is saved in the home directory list, so First we'll write the directory. It's home dot and now the name of the image, which is contacts .png. Click OK. And let's look if it worked. And as you can see, in every record where we are missing the picture, we have the contacts icon now. So that was it for images on default view, and now let's look at the image on a grid. It's basically the same. All we have to do is to delete these cells. Let's leave a name cell, add an image. Now we already have the style prepared, so let's already click Form Image and adjust it. Let's say we want to centralize this text, so let's use Edit Styles. We are using Primary. Let's create a copy of Primary style. Let's name it Primary Center. And we will select that we want to have it align in the center. Save and close. And let's choose our style. Save and close, publish. And let's go to the application. Now in the grid view, we should see our gallery. The final chapter in our tutorial are buttons and multi-select. So let's open up multiple rows. When we click on a record, we can see those buttons, but we can change them, and we can do that like again in the view. So let's open up the view. But what we can do if we have multiple rows is that we can define buttons for each row. So for example, for out of scope row, let's select as those records are not that useful for us, so let's add delete command. Then for primary, let's choose also an SMS, as we want to have more options how to contact them. And then for secondary, let's like merge, for example, so we can merge it with other secondary fields. Save and close, and let's go to the application. Now if we open up accounts, we should see that instead of email, which we had here before, we have action, and by clicking here we can choose an action. We can click delete and delete the record. Now if we click on secondary row, we have merge, and if we click on green, which is primary, we have also an SMS. So this is how you can add or remove buttons. And the final thing is multi-select. So let's open up a view, multi-select, and it's very similar to buttons. We can choose which commands we want to use in case of multiple selection of records. So again, let's choose delete, merge, change status. Let's choose a status, let's say active, and OK. Save and close. And now let's go back to the default view. And let's select multiple records by click and holding. We can select any records we want and then execute the commands by clicking on the three dots in the right upper corner. This is Multiselect. This was everything for third and at the same time final part of Resco user interface tutorial. Thank you for your attention and enjoy Resco technology.